Hi, this is Mrs. Wiederholt, and welcome to my review on finding the common denominator of fractions. Now let's get started. When finding a common denominator of fractions, you are looking for the least common multiple, meaning you're looking for the multiple of two denominators that they both have in common. Let's look at the example of 1/8 and 5/4. Now, when I look at these two denominators, the 8 and the 4, I want to find the smallest multiple that they both have in common. Now, let's do just a quick review. Multiples are numbers like if you're going to count by fours, you would say 4, 8, 12, and so on. So our multiples of 8 would be 8, 16, 24, and so on. When looking at the multiples, I see that the smallest multiple that both denominators have in common is the 8. Therefore, my least common denominator is 8. Now let's look at one more example. 3/8 and 1/5. Now, let's take the 8 and let's write out my multiples. 8, 16, 24, 32, and we'll stop there for just a moment. Let's do the 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and let's stop there for a moment. The reason why I wanted us to stop is, as you can see, we have done this, we have found the multiples of 8 and 5, and we still don't have a common multiple. So sometimes it's just easier to multiply your two denominators together. In this case, we have 8 times 5 is 40. Now, it actually is the least common denominator, but sometimes when you multiply two denominators, you may not get the smallest or least common denominator, but you will have a common denominator. And let's look back at this example right here where we had the denominators of 8 and 4. Now, if we had just chosen to multiply these two, our common denominator would have been 32, which would have been fine, except ultimately down the road, we would have to do some reducing. So, with this one right here, 40 actually is the least common denominator. But if it gets to the point where it just seems like it's too much trouble to find your multiples, then just multiply the two denominators together, and then ultimately you might have to reduce it. But you should be fine. Now, I hope this review on finding the common denominator has helped, and I look forward to working with you again. Bye-bye.